guys, so it is December, which means NaNoWriMo is over, and, well, I survived, and I hit 50,000 words. If you guys saw my NaNoWriMo wrap-up vlog, I know it's pretty long, but you can pretty much see my entire experience with NaNoWriMo there, and I talk a little bit more about the day-to-day writing stuff, so you can go check that out. I will link it in the description below. NaNoWriMo is over now, and I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Well, okay, that's not true. I do kind of know what I'm gonna do. So as of right now, I am nowhere near done with my story. I am about 16, 17 chapters into my 44 chapter outline. So, yeah. So unlike a lot of other fellow Ramos out there, I am going to be using December as well to continue writing and to finish up my story. And in the months after this, I do have several writing projects that I want to get to. Firstly, to finish this year's NaNoWriMo novel. I don't want a repeat of last year where I didn't end up finishing the novel and it's still sitting there completely unfinished, and it makes me cringe every time I look at it because I know that I've procrastinated a lot on it and it makes me feel really bad. So one of the goals I have is to finish my NaNoWriMo novel this year and hopefully have it done by the end of December. I have to re-outline my current novel a little more because the timeline isn't quite fast enough for what I want, and I think I'm just going to be smushing a couple of chapters together. Now after that, since I'm supposed to leave it before I start revising, I'm going to go back and try and finish up last year's NaNoWriMo novel. Don't really know what direction that's going to go in, so I'm probably going to have to re-outline it at some point and then go from there. The next thing I want to do is to finish outlining another story idea I had that I started outlining near the end of November because I got bored with my story a little bit. I was in a bit of a slump, so I started outlining something else, and I'm in the process of outlining one of my character profiles right now. But I want to finish outlining that before April's Camp NaNoWriMo, hopefully. I might just use that for Camp NaNoWriMo next year. And then hopefully I'll start revising this year's NaNoWriMo novel, which is titled Operation High School, in case you guys didn't know. I want to start revising that at some point next year before NaNoWriMo 2016 rolls around, just because I know it's going to feel good, and also it'll be nice to just have a better draft of what I wrote this year. And my last project that I hopefully will be able to get to is something that I mentioned during my NaNoWriMo vlog, which is to go through some of my brother's stories that he gave me access to. If you didn't know, basically I was talking to my brother one day during NaNoWriMo, and he told me that he had done NaNoWriMo in the past and gave me a website link to where all of his stuff was, and basically told me that I could read through everything and rewrite anything I wanted except for the first story he has. So I have free reign with all of his work, and if I can come up with a better backstory and a way to finish these books, which most of them I think are trilogies because he designed them that way, then I can do it, and he's giving me free reign with it. So I'm not sure if he thought this through or not. Basically, I'm going to be reading through his stuff and I guess re-outlining it and figuring out a backstory, and if I can figure out a good one, I'm going to probably rewrite some of his stuff. I'm not exactly sure how or if I'm going to do it, but I do want to get to his stuff and just see what I can do with it and play around with it a little bit. If he's seeing this, you may have made a mistake, Josh. You really have. Those are mostly my goals for the months between now and the next NaNoWriMo. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be participating in either Camp NaNoWriMos next year. The April one and the July one, I'm not entirely sure yet. I will have to see, and if I do, I might just use that to revise more or to, rewrite my brother's stories. But I do know that while I'm trying to revise and continuing to finish my NaNoWriMo story for this year, Elisabeth over at Elisabeth's page and I have made kind of a deal to keep each other in check and to make sure that we finish writing and revise and don't slack off and don't get distracted by Netflix or Twitter, and basically keep each other in check as we attempt to finish our stories. She has a booktube channel, Elisabeth Page, which I will link down below, and she also has a writing channel called Elisabeth Writes, and I will link that down below as well. She did mostly daily vlogs throughout the month of November through NaNoWriMo, so you can go ahead and watch that if you want, and give her some support because she's really, really great. And one of my other friends, my only real life friend, who has also done NaNoWriMo, who also won, congratulations to Phoebe, even though she doesn't watch this. Basically, I'm going to pester her to keep me motivated to continue writing and revising and to keep me in check in this time zone, because I don't live in the US, so time zone's a little bit different. But yeah, basically, I'm going to need someone to keep me in check. The interesting thing is, this year, because I did NaNoWriMo more publicly, last year, during my first year, I did it in secret, and I kind of only announced it after I won. But this year, I decided to make it more public, and I had posted stuff on Instagram, and I talked about it with my friends. I've had at least 7 people ask me already if they can read my story, and the first person to ask was one of my guy friends, and he was like, just send me the story when you're done editing it. And I told him to wait about 4 to 5 years before I was done with that. And since then, I've had 3 other guy friends ask me, my dad, my sister, and 3 of my girlfriends asked to read it. And I don't know why everyone's so interested in reading it, but the thing about being a writer is that not everyone can just read the stuff you write, because it's kind of personal. Like, if they don't understand writing or reading as a craft, or if they don't understand the process, they kind of just read it as just another thing with like a page with words on it, and they don't get it, I guess. Also, it's quite a personal thing for a writer to be sharing something that they wrote, because it's part of them, it's part of their experience, and it's just not something you would share with just everyone until you're ready to have it published. And since it's a crappy first draft, I don't think I'm ready for that. So I think out of all the people who have asked, like 5 of them might end up reading it. And that's because I really trust their opinion when it comes to criticism. And they also write as well, and they're really, really avid readers. But it's strange how many people want to read your novel when you tell them that you're participating in NaNoWriMo. It's also kind of ridiculous how many times I've explained what NaNoWriMo is this year. But enough of me getting sidetracked. Basically, my goals between now and November of next year are to finish writing my NaNoWriMo story from this year, finish writing my NaNoWriMo story from last year, revise my NaNoWriMo story from this year, finish outlining the outline that I started, maybe revise my NaNoWriMo story from last year, although I'm kind of doing that with the second goal, and also to go through my brother's stuff and to see if I can rewrite it and just read it and enjoy it a little bit. Because hey, it's not every day you get to read something your brother wrote. Those are pretty much my goals for the next year or so. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye!